Everybody's handwriting is probably crazy because you haven't written in 2 weeks.
My handwriting's always
Okay, so you can only use this for right triangles specifically. Okay, A and B are technically called the legs of the triangle, and C, does anybody know what this side is called? The hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. Okay, the hypotenuse, there's 2 ways to figure out which side is the hypotenuse. It is always the longest side. It is also always across from the 90-degree angle because your triangle is not always going to be sitting up on like its bottom. It's going to be spinning. So if you're confused about which one's the hypotenuse, it's always across from the 90-degree angle. It is never touching the 90-degree angle. So does anybody remember what the Pythagorean theorem is? We just kind of said it. Nice. And this can only be used for right triangles. So let's go down and we're going to do number 2. So which side, 15, 18, or X is C? So this is going to be my C. 15 and 18 do not matter. People were stressing earlier in like my second period about which one's A and which one's B. It doesn't matter. So I can call this one A. I can call this one B. And then we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So 15 to the power of 2 plus 18 to the power of 2 equals the hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse in this case is technically X. So X squared. Now in your calculator, you can just do this realistically all on your calculator. 15 to the power of 2 is 225. Remember, this is your power of 2 button. Or you could do 15 times 15. Then you're doing 18 to the power of 2 or 18 times 18. What do I do now? Add them. And now what do I do? Square root it. So squaring is that same button. Squaring makes it bigger. You need to square root it. So how can I square root on a calculator? Shift and then X squared. So it's going to get smaller. And this is where in the directions it says we're going to round to the nearest 10. So what is the answer? 23.4. Okay, let's do the one directly underneath it. So number 4, looking at this picture, it's spinning around. Which side, X, 25, or 30 represents C? No. 30. It's the longest side. So this is C. Which side do you want to call A? And then this side would have to be B. Remember, A and B could switch. It technically doesn't matter. C is the one that matters. C is always across from the 90-degree angle. So I'm going to do 25 squared plus B is technically X squared. Bless you. And then C is 30, so 30 squared. So in your calculator, if you do 25 times 25 or 25 to the power of 2, you should get 625. Now this one is technically slightly different. 30 squared is what? Huh? 900. Now it's not the same as last time. I'm not adding 900 and 625 together. What do I have to do? Subtract. So I'm going to minus 625 to both sides. And then what's my last step? Square root. So every single time at the end, you'll have to square root. So if it's 16.5831, blah, 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 what is the actual answer? 16.6. Okay, so I want you to try to see if you can figure out the next one. Just go directly underneath it. Try 6. I would start by labeling the triangle. Figure out which side is C. It's always the longest. If two sides look like they're the same length, it's the side across from the 90-degree angle. That's C. Do 9 weeks. First grade of the 9 week. Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Tyrone, what'd you get for your math problem? Nothing.
That's a possibility.
21.6 is correct. Okay, so this is, I'll set it up, but this one is C, it's across. This is the longest side, it's the hypotenuse, which is also across from the 90-degree angle. So you could do x squared plus 44 squared equals 49 squared. When you square 44, you're gonna move it over using subtraction. Because this is trying to find a side. Oh. That's aggressive. Nobody needs to die today. So the last thing you're going to do is square root. And that's where you get your 21.6. Okay. So it's not hard. It's actually very easy. It's the first day back, so I know you want to chit chat with your friends. Make sure you are doing your work, multitasking, okay? And then tomorrow we're going to start something actually new. And then if you want, I can check your answers before you leave, or I can walk around and get your grade tomorrow, but it's due tomorrow. First grade of the 9 weeks, all of them. There's only one side, there's no bag. Yep, including those ones. Yeah, start with these ones. It's not bad. It won't take you all period. You'll have time. Yeah. That's good. I was hoping it was gonna snow like somewhere close, like in Georgia or something. So that way I could take Evelyn to see snow. But now it's gonna snow like this week coming up.